So the four things that small business owners need to do in order to get up and running are the same almost across industry. In the past, when we thought about getting started, there was getting started, there was getting found, getting connected or bringing customers in and then staying connected to those customers. And then, of course, you need to get paid if you don't want to just live off that $3,000 you saved when you got up and running. One of the things that's fascinating is the concept around how do I get started? In the past, I'd hang out a shingle on Main Street and I would hand out flyers and I'd get business cards. Well, what we're seeing now, the first act that small businesses undertake is getting a name, but it's not just any name. They have to go check, is that name available so I can hang my shingle out on the internet? You just can't get found if you're not on the web. Like, even if someone tells you, here's the name of a service provider that I recommend, I know the first thing that I do when we went out and surveyed customers, first thing they do is they go to Google, they type that service provider name in, and they look for reviews on the website. And if you're not there, they're not going to call you. So crazy as it seems, getting a name, and then some businesses, actually very few businesses, it turns out, wind up setting themselves up as an LLC or a C Corp or an S Corp. They stay a sole proprietor. Just a lot of overhead. People don't think they need it. Product-based businesses are starting more and more on Etsy, eBay, Amazon. Etsy has been a tremendous success. So they've got over 1 million small makers that are operating on Etsy. eBay, depending on how you count, has between a couple 100,000 and a couple of million sellers that make their living on eBay. And Amazon has been unleashing their Amazon facilities, mainly in their ability to aggregate buyers and then their warehouse facilities to help these small business owners who just want to make something and then get it out to the consumers without having to go figure out all the marketing stuff. And of course, if you are a business that needs a physical location, there are now services to help you do that as well. Take all of those services that the big businesses used to have available to them, real estate search, they can literally say what type of customer are you going after and pick a corner for you that you can go and find. So getting started has been made dramatically simpler for small business owners. Once you have that name and you're up and running, you need to do something. Again, just hanging a shingle out on the web isn't enough. And so there's this rise of simple one-click, do it for me, do it with me, or do it yourself websites. Everything from free sites with the Weebly's and Wixes of the world. Squarespace, WordPress is a site building tool that a lot of developers and designers use, as do bloggers today. That's becoming more prevalent. So you get your website, and then, of course, people start beating down a path to that small business's door. Well, not quite. We talk to these small business owners, and it's great to watch their face and usability. They get the site up and running, and then they wait, and then they wait. And so one of the things we need to tell them is, look, getting a site isn't the same as getting on Google. Like, well, I want to be on Google. They go to Google, they type their business name in, and they expect it to pop up to the top. And that's one of those areas that's still incredibly challenging for a small business owner. How do you get going so that you're discoverable? Those first few customers are a challenge. And so Google and Bing, Yahoo and others are creating services for small businesses where you can claim your listing, you can put rich content out into those listings, and that starts to not only increase your rankings on those engines, but also gives things like menus and services if you're a service-based business, and operating hours, and a write-up and images. And so that starts to actually get you found when consumers are searching now more and more from their mobile phone as they're on the go. Search engine optimization, and of course reviews, so that you have social presence. You have the ability for that small business owner to be getting support, getting buoyed by those customers who they've helped. You get your first few customers, what do? Well, you want to stay in touch with those guys. So there's a whole rise of tools for these small businesses that are incredibly inexpensive, incredibly simple, starting with, I call it the micro CRM. This is a combination of storing your contacts and communicating with those customers and your prospects over time. Professional-based email. We did a bunch of research. What service do you think most small businesses use today for their email? So it's Gmail. So they create a My Business Name at Gmail account. Well, we went out and did some work and found that consumers are 9 times more likely to buy from a business when they use their own brand in the email. And so we're trying to figure out why that isn't yet in the mind of the entrepreneur. But you're seeing the rise of Gmail, Office 365. We've got a service there. So Pro Email is one of the simplest, cheapest ways to stay in touch with customers over time, one-on-one, and you can use micro CRM and these email marketing products to stay in touch with a broad group. Social, small business usage of social is tremendous now. We're seeing Facebook with a focus on small business. You can have your own personal page and an attached business page. Google has Google Plus pages. Twitter and Pinterest both have business accounts you can now create. And those things are terrific because it's not just you talking now. You can engage your customers. I often talk to small business owners, and between the email marketing tools and the social tools, the thing that they're uncomfortable with is, well, what do I say? Like, okay, there's this audience waiting out there potentially. What do I say? And we usually ask them, well, what did you think you did so well that got you to start the business in the first place? And then they start talking about these great stories. I'm a great glass blower. I'm one of the world's best hedge trimmers. Like, fantastic. Talk about that. There are people who will find you when you start talking about that topic, and your passion comes through in that social media space. And of course, there's advice. One of the most challenging things for a small business owner to do, because again, most of them are solo entrepreneurs. They don't have a set of advisors that are in their business. So you're finding folks like SCORE, which is sponsored by the Small Business Administration, with retired executives who come out, and they're helping literally millions of businesses every year to get up and running and get help along the way. And then the Open Network as well. So good news is there's a lot of help out there for these small business owners, and much of this is free to $10 a month. So it's affordable, it's doable, and the small business owner has it within his or her reach. By the way, about 60% of small business owners are women. And then, of course, once you get that customer in the door, you have to get paid. So there's a whole series of tools for e-commerce-based businesses, offline payments. Square and PayPal, along with a number of other providers now, are providing payments on the go, credit card, cash, check, incredibly powerful tools for free, just a percentage of revenue, booking, and then bookkeeping. At the end of the day, you do need to pay taxes. So these trends are strong. These 4 key areas of getting a name, of getting found, getting connected, and getting paid are what every small business owner has to do to be successful. The reward for the individuals themselves will be good pay, autonomy, mastery of their trade, and at the end of the day, a meaningful contribution both for themselves, their families, and the economy.